All right, got him on another one. Second cast here in this spot.
And you're getting good.
Get you one on, Marty. Fire it in there.
Let's see if we can get it in that hole there. I'll take that.
Oh, that's a good one. Probably need the net for him.
Hello and welcome to the Carolina Outdoor Journal. Well, today's program is going to take us up on the Roanoke River. Joe, we're going to be fishing and our young angler first experience.
Yeah, we're taking a first-time fisherman to the Roanoke. He's fished other places. He does his past fishing experiences mainly around Swan Quarter and the Pamlico Sound, but he never fished the Roanoke River, never caught a striped bass. So we're going to take him for his first experience on the river. We're targeting striped bass, like I said, for today, using soft plastics, and had a good day.
Now, how about in gear time today? The Roanoke River is a great river, but we'll learn more about how to rig for it in gear time.
Exactly. The guys will go back with Richard Andrews, who's our guide today, and he'll go over the soft baits, the tackle, the rod and reel combinations they like to use. But he's Richard over the last few years has really built up a good winter time. This is in the winter months, it's in March, and he's got that population down pat on how to catch them.
And today's recipe, fish stew.
I think the recipe goes right with this show today.
All right, we got a lot to do. Let's go to work on the Carolina Outdoor Journal.
So Marty, here we are. We're almost to our fishing destination. It's March, Lower Roanoke River. We're striper fishing today. What do you think?
And I'm excited.
I understand this will be your first striper ever. If we can catch a few today.
First trip ever.
Wow.
So one's good. A bunch is great.
What a great fishery to try out your first striper fishing trip.
Very excited.
Yes, sir.
Very excited.
Well, we'll be at our spot here in a second, and we're going to idle on up here and start fishing.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. So Marty, we have these little 3-inch paddle tail baits today that we're using that mimic the natural forage species of the stripers, which is river herring. And we're going to start out with a couple different colors. This is kind of an off-white color with a red jig head. Okay. And you have a chartreuse variation there. And what we're going to be doing is just throwing these jigs up to the bank. And see, river herring spawn up in the woods in the flooded trees, and they're entering and exiting the floodplain in these little channels and passageways. And if we can find those areas and throw these jigs in those areas, we ought to catch some stripers.
So good afternoon, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
You ready?
Ready.
All right.
Let's do it. Same side?
Yep, just right there, about 2 or 3 feet off the base of those trees.
Look at that.
All right, Marty, we got one on here, our second cast. Can you believe it?
That's great. That is great.
Second cast, Roanoke River striper. That's what it's all about.
Looks like it's going to be a great afternoon.
Some high volume action here on the Lower Roanoke in March. There he is, he's coming up.
Oh yeah.
Pretty fish.
Nice fish. Hey, what, it makes the rest of the day look promising.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm gonna sling him up. We'll get him off the hook and get him back in the water. How's that sound?
Sounds great, man. So that's what we're after today.
That's it. That's the striped bass that we are after, the Roanoke River stripers.
Excellent.
Pop that hook out. Pretty fish. Pretty little schooly striper. Right. He'll be on his way to Weldon pretty soon in about 2 weeks.
Nice. Tell your friends.
Up in those trees, it's only about knee deep, and if you were to step off that bank ledge, you drop right down to about 12 to 15 foot of water. Okay. And these fish are just holding right on those bank ledges, feeding when bait fish come by. And just let that bait drop down, flick your wrist, twitch it every few seconds, give it about a 3 to 5 second pause in between twitches, and your bite will come on the fall almost every time when the bait's dropping.
Okay.
Coming on up again. Let's see how big he is.
Get my mess in.
Whoa, there he is, digging on me. It might be the same fish. He looks like his twin brother. I'm gonna sling him up here. We'll get them all. Get them back in the water.
Pretty fish.
Yeah. They're all about the same this time of year. I mean, we have seen some mixed sizes, some bigger fish and some smaller fish, but that's about average size for this year's stock. That fish was probably born in 2011 right there.
Fish on.
All right, Marty, good job.
It's these fish.
First striper.
I know.
I better not lose him.
Oh yeah. Coming up.
Good fish too. You hold that leader right there. There you go. Hey, it's hooked well. All right, Marty, that's your first striper ever right there.
Isn't he pretty?
Yeah, pretty fish.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. You like that?
I do. Let's catch another one.
All right, sounds good. We'll get him back in the water, get another one on.
Yes, sir.
All right, got him on another one. Second cast here in this spot.
And you're getting good.
Get you one on, Marty. Fire it in there.
If we can get it in that hole there. I'll take that.
Oh, that's a good one. Probably need the net for him. There he is. We got him.
Oh yeah.
Got him in the net. All right.
Nice fish, man. He looks like he might make the limit.
I think he is. He's gonna make the keeper mark, Marty, and I think we're gonna keep him, take him home, and eat a nice rockfish for us for supper tonight.
Sounds good.
Or you will at least.
Hey, sounds great, man.
Hey, fire up the grease, get it hot.
That's right.
Pretty hook up there.
Once again, you put us in them.
Hey, he's in that current. He's fighting, isn't he?
He's dead. This was pulling real good.
All right, there we go.
Right.
Give me a little slack. There you go. Pretty work, bud.
Right. Pretty rock.
Yeah, man. Let's see if he's big enough. All right, Marty. Pretty work, man. We got another one.
Man. We did it.
That chartreuse paddle tail is doing the trick today, isn't it?
I tell you what, it's caught a few today.
Yes, sir.
I guess I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Now, are we fishing for rock or are we fishing for striped bass?
That is a good question.
Yeah.
Most people around this area call them rockfish.
Rockfish.
But they're more universally known as striped bass.
Okay, cool.
We'll measure him and see if he's a keeper. He might be close. Nope, not quite. Let him go. He's got a stubby tail on him.
He does.
Good job, bud.
Hey, thanks, man. So, when's a good time to come out here and catch these fish?
Well, Marty, that's a good question. We generally start seeing these fish school up. There are resident stripers in the Roanoke River all year. However, we really start seeing these fish school up in the wintertime. I start fishing for them as early as late November, early December, and we fish them all winter long, right into the pre-spawn period, which is right now in March. We tend to see it slow down a little bit in April and May when the bulk of the fish are up on the spawning grounds in Weldon. And then after the spawn, the post-spawn fishing is very good in late May and early June. So we really have quite a wide season when we fish these fish.
Okay. Okay.
You better tighten up, fire that thing in
I'll
there.
tell you
You'll get a fish.
I think I need to just swim over and set it down.
Whoa, pull a little drag.
Yeah.
Here we go.
He definitely don't want to see sunshine. That's a nice
I'm gonna
fish.
put the net on that one just in case. Just in case he's a keeper. He's gonna be close
I think
though.
we're close.
All right, Marty. I don't think this is gonna quite be 18 inches.
He's pretty close,
So
but
we're gonna let that fish go. Maybe next year we'll catch him. Will be about 5 or 6 inches bigger.
There you go.
That'd be a pretty fish,
I'll
wouldn't
give
it?
you another nice pull.
Yes, sir. It sure would.
Yes, sir.
There we go. All right. Let's get us another one.
All right, sounds great.
Here we go.
Another striper.
Yeah, we moved again and found another spot that was holding some fish. Shaking his head.
That was almost as soon as the bait hit the water.
Yeah, he was up there suspended pretty high up in the water column. Sling him up. He's another undersized fish. I think he's about 17 and some change, maybe. That chartreuse bait did it right there. That half-ounce jig head. It's a good one. We'll let him go. Try to get a larger one. Cast right back up there in that hole right there. That's where I got that bite.
All right.
There you go. Just let it fall right down that ledge and twitch your tip.
Just had a bite.
Just give it a little twitch. Let it fall. All right, Marty.
Fish.
Attaboy. You got the touch now, don't you?
Hey, you gave it to me.
Shoot.
I think I want that pie.
That's a good one. All right, break his head a little bit. There you go. Pretty work. Well, you're learning and you're doing a great job catching them, man.
Hey, man. Well, thank you for teaching me.
I didn't do anything. You did all the hard work. Put him back and we'll catch another one. Maybe a little bit bigger one next time.
Let's do that.
Up again here. We move to a different spot. Spot with similar characteristics, but a little bit further up the river here.
Let's see what we got.
Another about 17 incher, I think.
Oh, pretty fish.
Sling them up here and we'll try to get them all. There we go.
That's a nice fish.
Pop that jig head out of his mouth. We'll let him go and catch another one just like him.
All right.
Marty, go ahead and make your cast right on up there underneath that branch right there. That's that seems to be where they're schooling right now.
Okay, yes, sir.
It's a good little spot we found, probably the best spot we found all day. That's what we look for. We look for schooled up fish that are, stacked in these spots that we can catch every cast like this. That's the ultimate goal. It doesn't happen like that every day though, but
right.
It's fishing.
Hey,
but even on the Roanoke River, you can still come out here on a slow day and bang out 15 or 20 fish, which is pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome.
Now this one might be a little bit bigger than that last one, probably about the same size, but I'm gonna measure him just to make sure.
Pretty close, huh?
Cause I know you want some of these fried fish for supper, don't you?
Seems like everything's been pretty close around that 18-inch mark today.
That one is 18 1/8. He is legal.
Legal.
So.
That's what we're looking for, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely. So we're gonna fillet and release into the grease.
That's right. Man, it sounds delicious. I'm ready. Get some hush puppies with it.
Yes, sir. Imagine that. That's gonna be good. Maybe a little herring roe to go with it.
Man.
We've had to roll in that river delight. Let's see. We'll go where he wants to go right now. He's fighting good.
Nice
Marty, when we were fishing here the other day, we were seeing them follow each other up already.
Oh man, that's a good sign.
There was 2 and 3 fish coming up with each fish we were catching. That was pretty neat to see.
That's a pretty good sign that the fish are working that spot, isn't it?
I think this one might measure. Let me see. We're gonna have to put him on the board and see. Let's see what he ends up being.
I'll be close.
If he'll cooperate. He is just undersized, so we're gonna have to throw him back. He's 1 meal away from going in the cooler, wasn't he?
Today's his lucky day. Right, let's try again.
Joe, we had a good day on the Roanoke.
We did. Yeah, we actually fished in the afternoon, and you know, catching your first fish of any species is always a highlight in your fishing career. And I think Marty had a really good time. Richard was a little disappointed in the size and the numbers we caught, but like I said, we caught a handful of fish, and really showed Marty the Roanoke in its wildest state. That section of the river, which is above Janesville, to me is one of the wildest parts of the river. And but the fishing throughout the winter, this past winter, was really good. Richard has really fine-tuned that winter fishery up there, and if you're interested in trying to catch your first striper or catch limited stripers, give him a call.
Talk about catching that first striper. Let's go to gear time.
Marty, this is your first day on the Roanoke River and the first time catching striped bass. How would you rate your experience today?
I rated it from 1 to 10 a 10. Great day. Any new experience outside is great. Great fish, great people. I mean, I just had a great time catching fish.
How about the scenery?
Scenery's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the Roanoke River. I've never been on the Roanoke River, and you know, between the winding river itself and the trees and just the wildlife, it was pretty intense.
Yeah, it's a big bonus to just the fishing. I mean, it's being out here and surrounded by National Wildlife Refuge is a really neat experience.
Right, it really is, and you know, I'm just glad we get to experience this on a daily basis.
Well, being a newbie to the river, you sure made a quick adjustment to a lot of our techniques here. We're using, you know, medium light action rods, TFO rods. It's a good sensitive rod is very important when we're jigging these soft plastics. We're using 2000 series Penn battle reels today, spooled with 10-pound braid, and an assortment of soft plastic baits, DOA soft plastics, couple different jig head colors. I usually use the white and off-white colors when the water's a little clear, and I use the pinks and the chartreuse, the bright colors, when the water's muddy. And a good quality jig head that can stand up to repeated strikes of these stripers is important. Another key addition to our arsenal today is scent. You know, I'm a true believer in adding scent to these baits. It makes a big difference. These fish really respond well to it. We use a lot of it here, and we've had great success with it. Well, that wraps up a really nice day here on the river. We caught a lot of fish. What do you say we go grab a bite to eat at the Cypress Grill?
I'm always ready to grab a bite to eat.
Congratulations on a wonderful day, Marty.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Well, if you need to talk to Captain Andrews, there's his number on the screen. Give him a call. He'll take you fishing, and there's a good chance he'll put you on some fish right there in that Roanoke River. Now, let's catch up with Donna. She's in the kitchen, and she's got a recipe for fish stew.
Hi, today in the kitchen we're going to be making a fish stew. This is a great recipe. It's one of those that you can put on in the morning and just kind of simmer all day if you like. You can use whatever type of fish you might have. Little bits and pieces, if you have little, pieces of a little bit of flounder left, a little bit of whiting left, a little bit of scallops, whatever you might have, you can just put it all in here, which is awesome. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out by sauteing or cooking some bacon, and I like to leave a little bit in my pan because I just think it's great. So we're gonna use the drippings to saute our onions. So I've just put my bacon aside, so I just put it in a little cup on the side, and I'm gonna chop this a little bit finer because it's gonna go on top of our stew when we're getting ready to serve it. So we're going to take our onion and just place that into our saute pan and give it a good stir. And we're gonna let this cook for just a few minutes until they begin to soften. We're also gonna add in our potatoes. I like to use Yukon Gold potatoes just because I like the flavor of them and I think they look pretty. But you can use whatever type of white potato you might have. So we're gonna place those in there too. Give that a stir so we're getting all the onion and good juices there, especially that bacon flavor. And we're just gonna let that cook for a little bit. We're gonna add some salt and some pepper. To that. And give it another stir and try to keep it all into your saucepan. So there we go. So we're gonna cook that, let it cook until the potatoes get tender. We're gonna add in our fish. This is just some flounder. You can tell it's just one of those great recipes you can just dump and stir. Then we're going to add in the one sauce, which will give a little bit of heat to it, not a lot. You can add more or less if you'd like. We're gonna add in some tomato sauce. And then we're going to add in some water. And you can use chicken stock if you like, or if you have some fish stock, which would be great too. So we're just going to put the lid on that. We're gonna let that cook for about 30 minutes until everything is nice and tender. And then we're going to crack eggs, 6 eggs into this. So I'd crack them into your dish and then pour them in slowly and put the lid on and let them cook for about 20 more minutes. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. We have a great bowl of hearty stew. We have our hard cooked, or depending on how you like to cook your eggs, this one's probably about medium. So some crunchy bread. It's a great hearty meal anytime and a great way to use up leftover or little bits of fish that you might have. So I hope you enjoy the fish stew, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Simple Cooking.
Thanks, Donna. That's some good stuff. Joe, you fish on the Roanoke, you catch fish, but there's one thing you've got to do when you fish in the Janesville area.
You hit the nail on the head, John. And Marty really didn't know this was coming, but the fact that we fished in the afternoon, it was an afternoon trip. We finished a little earlier than we thought, and so we had time to run him back down the river to the shores of Janesville, where the Cypress Grill is located. And anybody that's anybody that's grown up in eastern North Carolina has heard of the Cypress Grill, but it's right on the banks of the Roanoke River. They're only open 3 months out of the year, January through April. They've been there since the early 1950s, and they've been a part of that fishing history of the river forever. And they serve fried fish, generally rockfish, herring when available, white perch, flounder, trout, a little bit of everything. And so we treated Marty to his first dinner at the Cypress Grill, and they top it off with homemade pies. So, I mean, what else can you ask for? First striper, first experience on the river, and then he experienced the Cypress Grill all in one afternoon.
Well, I got to say this, the Cypress Grill is like a landmark to me. Fishing on the Roanoke's always a lot of fun. Just another good day in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
For Joe Albee, I'm John Moore. Thanks for joining us today on the Carolina Outdoor Journal.
Make sure to visit our website for more information and a link to our online store, Anglers Bay.